And here we go. Heat is building into southern Wisconsin, coming in from the west. Heat index values above 100 this weekend. I'll show you how hot those heat index values will be specifically in your neighborhood.
Details emerge as bond is set for a Madison man accused of trying to poison women he dated.
Plus, the 4th of July is approaching. What you can do to keep your family safe around fireworks. You're watching News 3 Now at 5. Alert day conditions in the forecast for the weekend, of course. As we mentioned, it's due to the heat.
Let's get right to Chief Meteorologist Alex Harrington. He's here with how hot will it get, Alex?
It's going to feel like over 100 Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. That's a prolonged stretch of hot and humid conditions. That's why we're highlighting this period with certainty here for alert day conditions. We already have heat advisories that have expanded across the entire WISC viewing area. We have an excessive heat warning off towards the east, towards the Milwaukee metropolitan area. You have to remember, in inner cities, ventilation is not always that great, and so it has a tendency to be a bit on the hotter side. The actual temperature will be 94 Saturday, 94 Sunday, 92 Monday, but the feels like factor 100 to 103, maybe some isolated areas getting even higher than that. Planning our evening, even though the temperatures are close to where they should be for this time of year, in the upper 70s to right around 80 degrees, don't let that deceive you. The humidity is going to be cranking up. Look at midnight. We're just barely dipping below 80 degrees. Our normal high temperatures this time of year are around 80 degrees. Coming up in Maine weather, I'm going to talk a little bit more about how this prolonged period of dangerous weather can impact your health. That's coming up.
All right, Alex, thank you. We're continuing to cover the incoming heat that's set to take over Wisconsin this weekend. Dane County issuing a heat advisory Saturday afternoon through Monday night.
Now, this is happening during a very busy weekend. There are several outdoor events scheduled across the area this weekend, and our Tanasia Shaw has more on how you can stay safe outside this weekend.
The Madison Farmers Market, the Juneteenth celebration, and the Naked Bike Ride are returning to the capital city this Saturday during what's expected to be the hottest weekend of the year so far. It's important to stay safe and not overheat while outside at these events. Many of them involve a lot of walking in extreme heat.
As you start feeling like you're getting too warm, get someplace cool. And I mean indoors, in the shade, someplace where you can cool down.
Hundreds of bikers will raise awareness for oil use and body positivity with the Naked Bike Ride.
If you're considering doing the ride and you are worried you might not do so well in the heat, come next year. Do not risk it. It's a fun event to question our dependence on oil and to celebrate body positivity, but we do this every year.
Holly McEntee helps organize the bike ride and says she's urging bike riders to bring water and to stop riding if they're feeling exhausted.
Sunscreen, really, really important. Watch out for each other. You know, if you see somebody struggling, we will have field medics on the ride with us.
Reporting in Madison, Tanasia Shaw, News 3 Now.
Tanasia, thank you. You can track the forecast for yourself on the First Warn Weather app. It has hourly planners, road conditions, and radar. Download it for free in your phone's app store. Just search WISC Weather.
Now to an update on the deadly shooting that happened at a Janesville apartment complex Tuesday morning. Police are confirming the shooting to be a murder-suicide. 3 people died at the scene. The Rock County Medical Examiner's Office identified them as 25-year-old Julia Svicker, 21-year-old Javarius Wicks, and 55-year-old Scott Roberts. Law enforcement did not identify which one was the shooter. The shooting apparently stemmed from a domestic relationship between 2 of the people involved. Officers found a 4th person unresponsive with a gunshot wound in the doorway to that apartment. They were taken to the hospital with life-threatening injuries and remain in critical condition. We're learning more about the couple charged in a plot to poison women in both Dane and Rock counties.
Paul Van Dyne appeared in Dane County Court earlier today. Andrea Whitaker's hearing is happening right now. In Rock County, Whitaker and Van Dyne are charged with 3 counts of attempted first-degree intentional homicide, aggravated battery, first-degree recklessly endangering safety, and stalking resulting in bodily harm.
And in Dane County, Van Dyne is charged with 2 counts of attempted first-degree intentional homicide and felony stalking. His bail set at $10 million today.
We're still awaiting Whitaker's bail. Our Ellie La Liberté joins us now with the latest details, the shocking details from the criminal complaint. Ellie?
Well, Eric, Susan, the Dane County victim said earlier today in court that she's scared for her life. She spoke virtually to the court as it determined the bail for Van Dyne and is now speaking for Whitaker. Now, we've also received these criminal complaints from both counties. They say that Whitaker and Van Dyne stalked and tried to kill the Rock County victim 3 times and the Dane County victim twice. Now, here's a timeline of both of these plots. We'll start in Rock County. On April 26th, the victim says she took a drink from her gym water bottle that caused her to vomit. The water in that bottle tested positive for cyanide. Now, on May 4th, she got in her car and noticed a smell so strong that she got a ride home instead of driving that car. Detectives believe it was hydrogen sulfide. Then on May 7th, her stepfather, while cleaning her car, said he found brown powder in the air vents. The substance tested positive for abrin, a chemical that can be fatal in even small amounts. The Rock County victim was hospitalized in early May for poisoning. According to the complaint, she and Van Dyne had a brief relationship. Now to the Dane County victim. On May 15th, the victim left Costco and found her car broken into. Now, nothing was stolen, but she says the water in her bottle tasted weird, so she spit it out. That water tested positive for cyanide. Then on May 20th, a similar situation occurred. According to the complaint, a bystander noticed Van Dyne trying to break into her car again, but walked away when confronted. The Dane County victim said she only went on a few dates with Van Dyne. We've changed the voice to protect her.
Paul is a threat. He is dangerous, not just to me, not just to my family, but to the entire community. Him and I were not in a relationship. I did not wrong him in any way. The truth is, I barely knew him. And yet, he and his accomplice decided that I should die.
Now, according to the criminal complaint, on Whitaker's phone, there are 2 searches for the Dane County victim and 96 searches for the Rock County victim. There are also 125 searches for various chemicals, including their lethal doses. And tonight at 6, I'll break down what we learned from Whitaker's hearing.
All right, Ellie, thank you. Aflac has confirmed its system was hacked by cyber criminals last week. It is the largest victim this far in the ongoing digital assault on American insurance companies. Earlier this month, cyber break-ins hit Philadelphia insurance companies and Erie Insurance. Aflac cannot yet confirm how much customer information may have been stolen, but Social Security numbers and health data could be at risk for customers.
Today, Group Health Cooperative Workers United held an informational picket. The union is demanding that GHC management ends alleged union-busting efforts and recognize the workers' union. Workers United says 70% of primary and urgent care workers are ready to unionize. But GHC has used attorneys and weaponized the labor board to delay the union election.
GHC workers have a right to unionize, just like our union siblings at Meritor. Yes. And we won't stop, because when we fight, we win! That's right.
Coming up tonight at 10, we'll have a response from GHC officials to the union's accusations.
Well, sparklers, bottle rockets, and other fireworks are summer staples. They also injure hundreds of people every year. The U.S. Consumer Product and Safety Commission reports that in 2023, 9,700 people were in the emergency room for firework injuries. 66% of those happened in the weeks before and after the 4th of July, with the most common injuries to hands and fingers.
But these little fireworks have enough power to completely amputate fingers, multiple fingers, even part of the hand. I've even seen an arm blown off in an 8-year-old. So this is really, really serious stuff.
SSM health doctors say if you choose to use fireworks, avoid alcohol, use protective eyewear, never allow children to handle them, and never relight a so-called dud firework.
AAA is expecting 72 million of us to make a great getaway this July 4th holiday. At Dallas-Fort Worth Airport, customs officials say wait times are down 25% thanks to new enhanced passenger processing technology that uses facial recognition. Very soon, a new review program for X-ray images will debut, so connecting London passengers won't have to clear security a second time.
This program streamlines and improves the travel experience for our customers, saving them time and reducing the complexity of re-clearing security, all while continuing to maintain the highest security standards.
AAA expects most will drive over the 4th of July, a record of nearly 62 million. That's up by 1.3 million from last year. Well, after the break, California faces a setback in trying to prevent the deployment of National Guard troops.
And President Trump holds a national security meeting. This as European leaders meet with officials from Iran. And the market's back open after Juneteenth to close the week with a 35-point climb for the Dow. The Nasdaq, though, loses 99. S&P 500 tumbles 13. And we'll be right back.
You're watching News 3 Now at 5, moving forward.
California's governor has suffered a setback in his effort to prevent President Trump from controlling National Guard troops.
The ruling came after ICE agents were denied access to the LA Dodgers Stadium. The Department of Homeland Security says the incident is unrelated to any operation or enforcement. Many in the region are on edge as immigration raids continue. One in the parking lot of a Home Depot resulted in dozens of people rounded up and taken away.
They say that the people are getting deported are going to be the ones that are committing crimes and all that. They just snatching everybody up. Anybody, father, mother, cousin, whatever,
Meanwhile, President Trump is hinting he may deploy the military all over the country as he continues to prioritize deportations from Democratic-run cities. Amid the deepening conflict between Israel and Iran, President Trump took part in a national security meeting today at the White House.
Well, this as European leaders held talks with Iranian officials in Geneva. Erica Brown with the latest from Washington.
President Trump departed the White House Friday, hours after taking part in a national security meeting about Iran.
Mr. President, how did your national security meeting go?
Mr. President, how are negotiations going?
It comes a day after the president left a door open to a diplomatic resolution to the intensifying conflict between Israel and Iran, saying he'll decide within 2 weeks whether the U.S. will attack Iran's nuclear facilities. In a possible step towards diplomacy, Iran's foreign minister met with European leaders Friday in Switzerland, the first face-to-face talks since the fighting began.
Israel attacks on nuclear facilities are grave war crimes.
The U.S. was not part of today's talks in Europe, but the UK's foreign secretary said European representatives made it clear Iran cannot have nuclear weapons. He urged Iran to continue negotiations with the United States.
It is hugely important that we don't see regional escalation of this conflict.
Touring an area struck by an Iranian missile near Tel Aviv, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said the war with Iran will last as long as it takes to achieve his country's goals.
Iran is the preeminent terrorist regime in the world. It must not, it cannot have nuclear weapons. That is the purpose of Israel's action.
Following Friday's talks in Geneva, Iran's foreign minister said his country supports the continuation of discussions. Earlier, he said Tehran would not negotiate unless Israel's aggression stops. Erica Brown, CBS News, the White House.
The U.S. was not part of today's talks in Europe, but the U.K.'s foreign secretary urged Iran to continue negotiations with the Trump administration.
The U.S. Supreme Court ruled the families of victims of terrorist attacks in Israel may sue the Palestinian Authority in federal court. The unanimous decision will likely make it easier for victims of other overseas attacks with ties to Palestinian groups to seek damages in U.S. courts. The issue relates to a series of deadly attacks inside Israel dating back to the early 2000s. And the U.S. Supreme Court ruled in favor of allowing fuel companies to take action against the state of California. A group of fuel producers and advocates had challenged a waiver from the EPA. The waiver has allowed the Golden State to have tighter emission standards than the federal ones due to its long-running air pollution problems. Well, alert day conditions for heat are in our forecast for the next 3 days.
That's your meteorologist Alex Harrington with how hot it'll feel outside. Alex?
It's going to feel like over 100 degrees Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. And I'm going to talk about the nighttime temperatures as well, because they will be dangerously hot as well as the daytime temperatures. So we have alert day conditions, 103 Saturday, 103 Sunday, 100 on Monday. That's the feels like factor. Could have some localized areas with heat index values above that. Actual actual air temperatures of 94 both Saturday and Sunday, and Monday 92 degrees. We have heat alerts across all of southern Wisconsin, across much of the upper Midwest. This is not a localized area of hot temperatures. It's all of the Midwest experiencing the combination of hot temperatures and high humidity levels. Right now it's 83 in Madison, but I want you to look to the west. That's where our air is coming from, near 90 right now in the Wisconsin River Valley in Boscobel. Here in Dane County, 83 is pretty popular, but it's 86 on Highway 14 in Middleton, down the interstate near Verona at 86, and also 86 in Cross Plains. That's just a hint of things to come. Planning our evening, even though temperatures are around 80 degrees, normal high for this time of year is around 80 degrees. Watch what happens as we go into the later evening hours. Staying around 80 degrees, meaning our lows are going to be close to our normal high temperatures for this time of year. And I show the dew point when I need to show the dew point. Look out to the west at Decorah, dew point of 70. When it gets above north of 70, that's when the real muggy stuff starts coming in. And we're going to see dew points this weekend between 70 and 75 degrees. That means oppressive humidity Saturday and Sunday, and likely on Monday too, as that moisture pools out ahead of a cold front. Want to talk about some records. We're likely going to melt, not shatter. We're going to melt the overnight minimum low temperatures Saturday or tonight, possibly going into Saturday, Saturday night going into Sunday, and Sunday night going into Monday, barely falling below 80 degrees. And when you put that combination of 80-degree temperatures, that's the thermometer reading, the high humidity, it's going to feel more like the 80s to near 90 at night. So it will feel like the low 100s during the day, and at nighttime, the body's reception of what it feels will feel like the 80s to near 90s. So if you don't get any breaks from the heat, that really puts a tremendous amount of stress on your body. So I can't stress enough here as we move through the weekend. I know, yeah, it's summer, Alex. This is what we get in Wisconsin. I get it. I grew up on a farm. I've hayed in this hot stuff. You need to know where are the cool spots. Limit that time outside. Between hay wagons, we'd go underneath the tree and we'd drink lemonade and we'd get back at it again. Then we'd get in the AC and chill out. So know where those cool places are and hydrate, hydrate, hydrate this weekend. After alert day conditions, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, a stretch of thunderstorms. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I said that really fast there. We have an extended period of heavy rainfall, and with that heavy rainfall, a new graphic to show. Our 10-day muggy meter, we're going to have high levels of humidity, and that's going to fuel that heavy rain, and it's going to be in the not comfy range to the oppressive range all the way through the next 10 days. Coming up at 6, I'm going to show you how much water we could squeeze out of this hot, humid pattern. That will be at 6, so you want to check that in just a little bit.
All right, Alex, and again, track the heat for yourself with our First Warn weather app, hourly forecast, road conditions, and radar. You can download it for free in your phone's app store. Just search WISC Weather.
Still to come at 5, the original summer movie blockbuster turns 50 today. We'll look at the many ways Jaws is being celebrated this year. Welcome back. We have some breaking news out of Madison. Bail has been set for the couple charged in a plot to poison women in Dane and Rock County.
The court commissioner has set Paul Van Dyne's bail at $10 million. In Dane County, he's charged with 2 counts of attempted first-degree intentional homicide and felony stalking. And now Andrea Whitaker's bond is set at $4 million. In Rock County, both Whitaker and Van Dyne are charged with 3 counts of attempted first-degree intentional homicide, aggravated battery, first-degree recklessly endangering safety, and stalking resulting in bodily harm.
We will have the latest on this case coming up at 6. Jaws was released on this very day back in 1975. The classic blockbuster became an iconic part of film history thanks to its famous score and infamous shark.
In today's Hollywood Minute, Douglas Hyde takes a look at the many ways its 50th anniversary is being celebrated.
You yell shark, we've got a panic on our hands on the 4th of July.
After 50 years, you probably thought it was safe to go back in the water again. Well, Jaws is back and celebrating its golden anniversary. Director Steven Spielberg has recorded a new introduction for the 1975 classic, which is now streaming along with its sequels exclusively on Peacock. A special 50th anniversary edition is also now out on 4K Ultra HD, Blu-ray, and digital.
The Academy Museum of Motion Pictures, the world's largest museum dedicated to movie making, is thrilled to announce Jaws, the exhibition.
LA's Academy Museum of Motion Pictures is launching the largest exhibit ever dedicated to Jaws in September.
There are over 200 objects that will be on view in this exhibition, and we've been working in close partnership, of course, with Steven Spielberg, so we can tell behind-the-scenes stories in a way that the public has never experienced before.
We were on the real ocean, and we were way out of our element for 5 months, and we all began going off the deep end, literally.
Jaws was, as they say in Hollywood, a difficult shoot, especially for Spielberg. Documentary filmmaker Laurent Bouzereau delves into that in Jaws at 50, The Definitive Inside Story, which premieres on Nat Geo, Disney Plus, and Hulu next month.
The toll that it took on him and what it did to him, the good and the bad, was the thing that was really a revelation for me.
You're going to need a bigger boat.
In Hollywood, I'm Douglas Hyde.
Iconic.
Yeah, it is. Classic.
Alex has one last look at our hot weekend ahead after the break.
Well, coming up on News 3 Now at 6, the chairman in the town of Chester, that's in Dodge County, is facing felony animal abuse charges. We'll hear from the woman who brought the dog to him. Again, that's top of the hour, News 3 Now at 6.
Finally tonight, if you're looking to impress your date with where to eat dinner, you may want to head for Lima, Peru. That's where Mido is located, and it just took the top spot in this year's World's 50 Best Restaurants survey.
The flight might be a little expensive, but the restaurant blends Japanese techniques with Peruvian ingredients. The only restaurant in the U.S., by the way, to get a nod in the top 50 was Atomics. That's in New York City, and it came in ranked number 12. Well, let's go to Alex. It's going to be a hot weekend out there.
Yeah, hot weekend, definitely the weekend you're going to want to stay indoors as much as possible. So cooking indoors, or maybe not cooking if you don't want to have the heat inside your house. We got alert day conditions Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Heat index values, that's the feels like factor through your body, above 100 degrees all of those afternoons. At nighttime, temperatures are barely going to fall below 80 degrees. So nighttime temperatures are also going to be dangerously warm because your body just doesn't get a chance to cool down. So you really want to stress, get in those cool spots this weekend, and then we'll be eyeing up the heavy rain next week. More on that at 6.
Happy summer.
Yep.
First day of summer.
Alex, thanks. Thanks for watching News 3 Now at 5. CBS Evening News is next. We're back in 30 minutes for News 3 Now at 6.
You can always find us streaming 24/7 on Channel 3000+. We'll see